Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Todd's Daily Drive, episode 5. I know it's been a while since our last episode. Apologize for that. We're being very busy. We are opening up the expansion Gonstead FM fitness and massage or functional movement. The FM works both ways conveniently. So I wanted to talk a little bit about a topic that ties into this expansion we're doing, and it's on a topic of a very controversial subject. It's something that people feel very strongly about who are into this. It is almost a religion type of feeling. It is called CrossFit. So now I posted an article on our website or on our Facebook page not too long ago by a guy named Stuart McGill. It was a link to a website called T Nation, where Stuart McGill is a spine biomechanics expert, and he was talking about his opinion on CrossFit. He sums it up very nicely because that's pretty much where we stand as well. We are not anti-CrossFit. We are not necessarily pro-CrossFit as far as how it's being done the majority of the time, and here's why. For those of you who don't know what CrossFit is, it is a huge craze that has swept the nation and really the world. They have CrossFit games, they have competitions where they take individuals, sometimes weekend warriors, sometimes people who lift weights, just as a like a very basic level, and they put them into structured programs where they go through stations doing Olympic lifts like clean and jerks, doing pull-ups, and sometimes the pull-ups are done with them swinging all over the place. They're called kip-ups, and doing burpees where they jump down on their hands and then bounce back up. So it's a lot of dynamic, explosive movement done in like circuit training for time and to beat personal records. So it's very competitive. It's a really fun idea to get people moving. Now, there's some positives with it. The positive with CrossFit is that they take people who might not otherwise be exercising and they motivate them to exercise. That's great. That's a positive. Another positive is they're getting away from single planar movements as far as like bench press or curl or things that you would never do in nature, which essentially breed dysfunction into our movement patterns. So believe it or not, going to the gym and sitting in a machine and moving along one plane like this is not really great for our musculoskeletal system or our neurology because it's not a normal way that we would move naturally. So it causes all kinds of issues. Now, CrossFit uses full body movements. They use functional movements, and that's a good thing. They get people moving. So those are a couple positives. And the third thing is that it builds a community and people hold each other accountable. It makes it fun. So there's some really great ideas behind this. Some things that I would critique with how CrossFit's done and how I would change it a little bit is, and this is what Stuart McGill also talks about, is that Olympic lifts were never meant to do for reps. They were meant to do for singles or doubles, meaning someone doing an Olympic lift, like a clean and a jerk, where you pull weight up and you push it overhead, that's meant to be done once or twice, not 10 reps, 15 reps, and certainly not done and then jumping into another exercise and another, and then coming around full circle, exhausting your body, breaking your form down, making it more easy for you to fail or compromise your form. And I know a lot of the CrossFit instructors talk about, they're very adamant about teaching form, but the fact of the matter is the format of just how this is done, where you are doing a high intensity, quick types of movements, as much as you can say that the form is being taught, it's so easy to do one wrong move and now you blow out a disc, you injure the spine, you injure a shoulder, a knee. I take care of a lot of CrossFit athletes and they come see us because usually they're injured. There's a lot of injuries that happen with how CrossFit is being done for the most part across the board. So the difference between CrossFit type of training and actually functional movement training is there's a huge analysis that really needs to be done. And a lot of the guys that the CrossFit stuff, they don't have the expertise to do this type of analysis. They don't have the equipment to do it. Part of the equipment is take an x-ray. You have to know certain things like what the shape of someone's pelvis is to know, can this person even squat low and deep like they're trying to make everyone do. If you have 10 athletes in a CrossFit type of environment, or just doing a squat for that matter, 1 out of 10 of those athletes is going to have different spinal abnormalities that is going to inhibit how they squat. They are not going to squat in the textbook fashion, and if you force them to fit that model, you will injure them. So that's a problem. If you have 1 out of 10 people getting injured, that is an issue. If you had 100 people coming in, that's 10 out of 100 getting injured. I can tell you this, if in our practice, if we had 1 out of 10 or even 10 out of 100, I mean, which is the same ratio, but just to put it in perspective, if we had 10 out of 100 patients that come in our door actually getting worse from what we were doing, we would be out of business pretty quickly. So this is something that really just needs to be addressed, and there's further understanding. There's things we can do. We can screen people to figure out what movements are best for them and what movements they should avoid. So there's x-ray, there's different functional movement tests, and then there's progressions of taking someone very slowly from a basic movement into a more complicated movement, not pushing them too hard. And then once they start learning these complex movements, it's not doing them for multiple repetitions. Okay, that can have a detrimental effect, and now this positive thing of exercise starts to become negative because it breaks the body down. Okay, well, I want to keep this short and sweet. We're almost already at 6 minutes. So again, I just want to clarify, we are not anti-CrossFit. We're not trying to create any enemies by saying this. We're just critiquing and furthering the discussion that Stuart McGill brought up, and this is a common question we have, so I felt that we should make a little video on it. Dr. Todd's Daily Drive, episode 5. See you next time.